Once we lose the ability to rise independently from a chair or to climb the stairs, that really is very closely linked with poor quality of life. I think that the simplest exercises to start with in the home, it would would involve things like the squat. That can be done from a seated position, so just a hard back chair, a dining room chair. Um, just that practice of rising unaided, preferably without using the armrests if you can, rising repeatedly and then sitting down again. It's a really important movement. The squat in all its forms is essential for longevity and healthy aging. But when we know our quadricep muscles, those muscles in the thigh, they seem to be particularly susceptible to deterioration as we age as well. So it's really important that we protect them, because once we lose the ability to rise independently from a chair or to climb the stairs, that really is very closely linked with poor quality of life, a loss of independence, and a reliance on external care provision and support from the family or whatever else it may be, and higher healthcare expenditure on that person as well. So I think that the squat's a great place to start. Beyond that, I think things like assisted push-ups or using the wall, to do some basic kind of push-ups to strengthen the chest and the arms, are a really good starting point. Versions of the deadlift. The deadlift sounds like a kind of a quite an intense, hardcore exercise that somebody in the gym might do, but there are really user and age-friendly versions of the deadlift as well that can be done. Other lower body exercises like the lunge, again, fantastic functional exercises, keep you flexible, help your balance, muscle strength. All of these things are improved. So, yeah, that would be my general recommendation for somebody that's never looked at strength or resistance exercise. Try and start twice weekly, 30 to 45-minute sessions, 5 or 6 key exercises. Make sure you give yourself 2 or 3 days rest at least in between. Um, yeah, and perhaps something I come back to as well. I meet a lot of older people in our research studies who are um, fantastic at completing a really high number of steps in a day. So these are people who are part of walking clubs, or they go out for their own independent walk, and you know a huge number of steps in the day. And they often tell me that around their busy sort of social lives as well, that finding the time to fit in an extra 30 or 45 minutes of exercise, resistance or strength exercises, is really difficult. Um, in that scenario where people are extremely high steppers, I would encourage them perhaps on a couple of days of the week to think about maybe shortening the walk and using some of that time to do more muscle strengthening exercises as well. I think that's one way you can fit it in. It certainly shouldn't be neglected.
Any words of encouragement for people who are maybe a little bit later in life, who maybe feel, oh, have I missed the boat? Is
Mm.
there a good age to start? Is there an age that's too late to start? What would you say?
Gosh, yeah. Big question. In terms of starting age, I'm really an advocate for introducing the concept of resistance and strength training exercise in high school, where the pupils perform the exercise is maybe, not so important at that age, but just introducing the concepts and the health benefits of this in physical education classes is probably the starting point in my eyes. And, there's great evidence now that resistance and strength exercise in teenagers, it doesn't stunt growth and cause all these harm. It's actually, it's a fantastic way to develop strength and healthy body composition and posture. So starting as early as possible is certainly something I would encourage. But for the older adult, again, perhaps someone in their 50s or 60s who's never undertaken this type of exercise, there's sometimes a mindset that, that's not for me. And I've missed the window. I couldn't possibly adapt to these, get the health benefits from that type of exercise. Now I need to do something that's gentler. Perhaps I'll join a walking club and I'll step more. That's not the case, though. There are still really, really profound health benefits of strength and resistance exercise, even at a more advanced stage. I mean, the earliest resistance training studies in older adults were actually done in groups of people in their 80s and 90s in a nursing home. So again, this was a population at that time. It was considered that if you put these people through resistance exercise training, you're going to do them more harm than good. You're going to cause injuries. You're going to cause joint damage. You're going to cause inflammation. That's going to give them a whole host of conditions as well. But actually, in these very old nursing home residents, the authors who conducted these studies found really profound health benefits. And these were people who needed walking, the vast majority of whom needed walking aids, Zimmer frames, canes, and so on and so forth, many of which didn't need these aids after the exercise. So there's potentially really, really huge, profound benefits.